I'm going to tell you a story today that cost me $3,247 to learn. Could have cost me nothing if I'd just listened to my granddaddy back in '84. In August of 2002, I was standing in my own backyard at 6 in the morning looking at a puddle of raw sewage spreading across my grass toward where my granddaughter Becca used to play. The smell hit me before I even opened the back door. My wife Margaret was already crying on the phone with the septic company. They quoted us $3,200, said they could come Thursday. This was a Monday. 3 days of that smell. 3 days of telling the kids to stay out of the yard. 3 days that I'll never forget as long as I live. And here's the part that still burns me. My granddaddy Cal had a septic tank put in this same property in 1958. Old concrete tank, 2 compartments, simple as could be. That tank ran for 51 years without one single repair, not one. He died in 1989, and that tank kept right on working till 2009 when the new owner finally replaced it just for peace of mind. 51 years. How? Because Cal knew something the septic companies don't want you to know. He knew it from his own daddy, and his daddy knew it from a book that's been printed every year since 1818, not the old Farmer's Almanac. The trick costs you under $2 a year, uses 3 tomatoes that were already headed for the trash. And the EPA, the same EPA that regulates this stuff, quietly says it works. But the chemical companies don't tell you. The septic service companies don't tell you. And I didn't tell my younger self either, because I thought I was smarter than the old man. Cost me $3,200 to find out I wasn't. Tell me right now in the comments, do you have a septic tank? Just type yes or no. I'm going to reply to every single one of y'all tonight. I want to see how many of my Homestead family are sitting on the same ticking time bomb I was sitting on in 2002. Your grandparents knew this. The industry just hoped you'd forget. Welcome to Grandpa Earl's Homestead. If you want to remember what your granddaddy knew before the industry made you forget, hit subscribe and ring that bell. This is where we bring back the old ways. One lost trick at a time. Let me take you back to a fall morning in 1958. My granddaddy Cal was 42 years old. Just bought this farm outright from a widow named Etta whose husband died in the war. He had $2,400 to his name and a wife and 4 kids to feed. The first thing he did wasn't fix the roof, wasn't paint the barn. First thing he did was put in a proper septic tank. He paid Harold Wickerson, old plumber from Cedar Rapids, gone now 30 years. $340 for a 2-compartment concrete tank, hand dug into the south side of the property. Harold told him that day, "Cal, this tank will last you 20 years if you treat it right." Cal looked at him and said, "Harold, I'm gonna make it go 50. Now Cal didn't have a single chemistry book in the house, didn't have the internet, obviously, didn't have a YouTube farmer telling him what to do. What he had was a stack of old farmers' almanacs going back to 1923, his daddy's collection, and a kitchen full of common sense. That winter of '58, the first time the tank started smelling a little ripe by the back door, Cal's mama-in-law came visiting from St. Louis. She was 70 years old, watched him digging around the tank with a worried look. Then she went in the kitchen, came out with 3 soft brown tomatoes that had been sitting on the windowsill too long, mashed them up in a bowl with a fork, and dumped the whole mess down the kitchen drain. Cal asked her what in the world she was doing. She said, "Calvin Henry, you take care of the little fellas living in that tank, and they take care of you. My mama used to do this every fall in Kentucky, and we never had a problem on a farm we lived on for 31 years." Cal wrote that down in one of those almanacs. I got the almanac right here on my shelf. Same page. In his handwriting, it says September 1958, mother-in-law tomatoes. Does it work? Question mark. And all. Spoiler, it worked. 51 years. Now, before I show you exactly what mama-in-law did and why it worked, let me explain how a septic tank actually works. Because if you don't understand the why, you'll fall right back into the same trap I did. Every septic tank in this country runs on one thing: bacteria. Little tiny critters you can't see with your eyes that live without oxygen. They call them anaerobic bacteria. They live down in the dark, in the wet, eating everything that comes down your pipes. Toilet paper, waste, whatever folks send their way, they break it all down into a liquid and a gas. The liquid drains out of the tank into what they call the drain field, a network of perforated pipes spread under your yard. The earth itself filters that liquid clean before it ever touches the groundwater. The gas vents out a stack on your roof, and the solids that the bacteria can't break down. That's the sludge that sits at the bottom and gets pumped out every 3 to 5 years. That's normal. That's expected. What ain't normal is when the bacteria die. And here's what kills them. Bleach. Every time you pour Clorox down the drain to clean the sink, you just murdered a few million bacteria. Lysol, Pine Sol, any cleaner with the word antibacterial on the bottle, once a week ain't gonna kill the whole colony. But daily heavy use, you're running a graveyard down there. Antibiotics. When Grandpa took his amoxicillin for that bladder infection, half of it came out in his urine 3 days later. Right into the tank. Killed the bacteria the same way it killed the bug in his bladder. Low usage. This one trips people up. Folks who got a cabin they only use weekends. The bacteria starve to death between visits. No food. They die. Then when the family comes for the holidays, the tank backs up. When the bacteria die, there's no decomposition. No decomposition means solids build up. Solids build up means backup. Backup means $3,247 and a Monday morning you wish you could forget. Before I show you the fix, and it's so simple you're gonna kick yourself when you see it, I gotta stop and tell you something that's been heavy on my heart lately. I'm 67 years old. I've been running this farm since I was 23. My granddaddy Cal taught me everything he knew before he passed in '89, and my grandmother Ruth filled in the rest before she went in '94. They left me notebooks, stacks of them, receipts for harness repair from 1932, notes about which neighbor had the best heifer that spring, pages and pages of tricks they figured out, 'cause they had to figure 'em out. There wasn't no tractor supply down the road in 1934. There wasn't no Amazon delivery truck. You either knew how to fix it, grow it, or save it. Or you went without. I always meant to organize all that stuff, put it in one place, pass it on. But year after year I'd put it off. Then last spring, I had a little health scare. Turned out fine. Thank the Lord, but it lit a fire under me. I sat down with my niece who works on a computer for a living, and we spent 6 months putting the whole thing together. 10 ebooks, over 100 tricks, just like the one I'm about to show you. Tricks for your tank, your roof, your animals, your garden, your medicine cabinet, your wallet. But the part most folks tell me means the most to them. There's a whole section on turning a small piece of land into actual real income. My neighbor Frank built up a farmer's market business and clears over $5,000 a month off 5 acres. $5,000 a month. Eggs, herbs, soap, heirloom seeds. The full roadmap is in that. Most families who use this bundle save around $10,000 a year. Feed, fuel, groceries, repair bills, vet bills, this kind of septic emergency we're talking about right now. The whole collection's linked right below this video, right there, under the subscribe button. Now stay with me, because Mama-in-law's 3 rotten tomatoes are next. Here's what Mama-in-law knew that took chemistry professors another 60 years to figure out. When a tomato sits on your windowsill past its prime, when it goes soft, gets that wrinkled skin, starts smelling a little fermented, it's not dying. It's transforming inside that rotten tomato. Something magical is happening. The cell walls are breaking down and releasing an enzyme called pectinase. Long word. Don't worry about pronouncing it. What it does is what matters. Pectinase eats organic matter. It's the same kind of enzyme your own stomach uses to digest food. When you pour that mashed up tomato into your septic tank, you're sending down a fresh load of digestive enzymes that pick tank up where the tired bacteria left off. But that ain't all. A rotten tomato is also crawling with billions, and I mean billions, of live cultures. The same kind of anaerobic critters that live in your tank. You're not just feeding the colony down there, you're restocking it. Old Farmer's Almanac been printing this trick since the 1800s. The EPA's Septic Care Guide today says the same thing in different words. They call it biological additives. Cal's mama-in-law called it Tuesday. Here's how you do it. Real simple. Method 1. If you got a garbage disposal in your kitchen sink, take 3 tomatoes that have gone too far, soft, bruised, the kind your wife was about to throw out. Toss them in the disposal one at a time with the water running on medium. Let it grind them into pulp. The water carries the pulp straight down to your tank. Easy. Method 2. If you don't have a disposal, put the 3 tomatoes in a plastic bag. Mash them flat with a meat tenderizer, or just your hand. Spoon a half cup at a time into the toilet, flush twice. Repeat till it's all gone. How often? Once every 3 months. 4 times a year, it'll cost you $1 at the grocery store if you don't grow your own. Best if you do it at night, right before you go to bed, so the microbes can work all night without new water flushing them through. Now here's the second piece of Mama-in-law's trick, and this one she didn't get from her own mother. She got it from the almanac itself, page 80-some, year 1934. Yeast, active dry yeast. Same little packet you use to make bread rise. Costs $1 at any grocery store, sometimes 90 cents. 1 packet's a 1/4 ounce. That's all you need. Now I gotta be honest with you, cause that's the deal we got on this channel. Yeast ain't bacteria. Yeast is a fungus. There's some folks who'll tell you yeast competes with the bacteria in the tank for food instead of helping. They got a point. So I'm not gonna sit here and tell you yeast alone is gonna save your tank. It ain't. What yeast does do is bring live cultures and enzymes that pre-digest some of the starchy waste. Toilet paper, especially, helps the bacteria work less hard on the easy stuff, so they can spend their energy on the harder stuff. Think of yeast like a helper, not the main worker. The tomatoes are the main worker. The yeast is the assistant. Simple recipe straight out of the almanac. Half a cup of active dry yeast. Pour it right in the toilet. Flush once, then walk away. Don't flush again for at least 3 hours. That's important. Best to do it at bedtime so it can sit overnight. Once a month is plenty. Now if you want the powerful version, this one's from my grandmother Ruth's own notebook, page 14. She called it her wake-up brew. Get a clean bucket. 3 cups of warm water, not hot, not cold, warm like bath water. 2 cups of plain sugar, 2 cups of yellow cornmeal, and 2 packets of active dry yeast. Stir it all up, set it on the counter and watch it. Within 10 or 15 minutes, it starts bubbling like a witch's pot. When it's good and lively, pour the whole thing in the toilet, flush twice. You only need to do the wake-up brew once a year. Best time is early spring, when your tank's been working light through winter and needs a kick. Cost you $2 total. Now let me save you some heartache. 7 things you should never flush down the toilet if you got a septic tank. Some of them you already know. A couple of them might surprise you. Number 1, flushable wipes. Even the ones that say flushable on the package right there in big friendly letters, they lie. Those wipes don't break down. They sit in your tank and pile up like a mat of wet rags. They're the number 1 cause of septic emergencies in this country, according to every plumber I ever talked to. Number 2, ultra soft toilet paper, the fluffy kind. Charmin Ultra Soft, the brands that feel like a cloud. They feel nice on the bottom, but they're built thick, they don't break down fast enough. Switch to 1-ply. Scott tissue's been the gold standard for septic owners for 40 years. Costs less too. Number 3, feminine hygiene products. Tampons, pads, anything like that. Wrap them in tissue. Put them in the trash. The tank can't process them. Number 4, cooking grease, bacon fat. The leftover oil from frying chicken. Folks pour it down the drain warm, thinking it's liquid, but by the time it hits your tank, it's cool and solid and it sticks to the inside walls like cement. Pour grease into an empty soup can, let it harden, throw the whole can away. Number 5, meat scraps. Even through a garbage disposal, your tank ain't a stomach. Meat takes too long to break down. compost it or throw it in the trash. Number 6. Heavy bleach and antibacterial cleaners. A little here and there is fine, but folks who clean with straight bleach every day, you're killing your tank slow. Number 7. Old medications. Expired antibiotics. Expired prescriptions. Don't flush them. They go into the tank, then into the drain field, then into the groundwater. Take them to your local pharmacy. Most CVS and Walgreens take them for free disposal. Tell me in the comments, which one of these 7 did you not know? Be honest, I'm betting it's number 2 for most folks. Now let me finish my own story so you can learn from my mistake. That Monday in August 2002, with the sewage on the lawn and the company quoting me $3,200. I called my grandmother Ruth. She was 81 years old then. Lived in a little house in town. I was 46 and embarrassed to be calling her, but I didn't know what else to do. She listened to me for 2 minutes. Then she said, "Earl, did you ever use them tomatoes on the tank like your granddaddy showed you?" I lied. I said, "Yeah, sometimes." The truth was I never had. I thought it was old people nonsense. I'd been using RootX every month for 18 years. $15 a month, every month. Around $3,240 total over those 18 years. Almost the exact same amount the septic company was about to charge me for the repair. She paused on the phone. Then she said real quiet, "Honey, Cal told me you'd come around eventually. Get yourself 3 soft tomatoes from the kitchen and a packet of yeast. Do everything I'm about to tell you tonight, then call me Wednesday." I did exactly what she said. Tomatoes that night, yeast the next night. By Wednesday, the smell in the yard had eased up. By Friday, it was gone. The company never had to come out. The tank cleared itself. I called Margaret over to the phone. We both cried a little. Then I drove to the grocery store and bought a whole flat of overripe tomatoes for $2 from the manager who was about to throw them out. Been doing this every 3 months for 24 years straight now. Tank's never given me another problem since. Cost me $3,200 and almost 20 years of RootX bills to learn what Mama-in-law from St. Louis taught my granddaddy for free in 1958. Don't be me, be smarter. Be the one who listened to the old folks before the bill came. Have any of you been through a septic emergency? Tell me about it in the comments. Was it like mine? Worse? I want to hear all of it. Couple more things you gotta know before I let you go. These are the mistakes I see folks make even after they hear the tomato trick. First, don't use too much yeast. More ain't better. 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup is plenty. If you dump a whole pound in, you'll get so much foaming that the solids in your tank can't settle right. They float around when they're supposed to sink. Stick to the recipe. Second, the tomatoes gotta be ripe, past ripe, soft wrinkled. The kind your wife was about to throw away. A fresh, firm grocery store tomato. Don't have the enzymes activated yet. You're sending down a fruit, not medicine. Let them sit a week if they're not ready. Third, and this is important, this is prevention, not cure. If your tank is already backed up, already overflowing, already stinking bad, 3 tomatoes ain't gonna fix that overnight. Call the professional, get it pumped, then start the maintenance routine to keep it from happening again. Fourth, don't keep using RootX with this method. The chemical treatments can mess with the natural cultures from the tomatoes and yeast. Pick one or the other. After what I've been through, I think you know which one I'm picking. Fifth, even with all this, and I mean all of this, your tank still needs to be pumped every 3 to 5 years. EPA says so, I say so. Pumping removes the sludge at the bottom that no enzyme can break down. The tomatoes extend the life of the tank. They don't replace pumping. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. And one last thing. Something most folks don't do that they should. Know where your tank is. Exactly. Measure from the back corner of the house. Take a photo, write it down. Hide a copy somewhere safe. When the day comes, you need to dig it out. And that day comes for every tank. You don't want to be the guy digging 15 holes in the yard guessing. Cal had ours marked with a little stone with a C scratched on it. That stone's still there, 40-some years later. Let me leave you with this. After grandmother Ruth passed in 94, I cleaned out her little house in town. In the bottom of a drawer in the kitchen, wrapped in a faded blue handkerchief, I found a recipe card, yellow with age, in her handwriting. It said Cal Septic every 3 months. 3 tomatoes works like a charm, XO Ruth, June 1973. She'd kept that card 46 years. 6 years after he died, she still kept it, just in case somebody in the family forgot. I keep it now, in the same drawer in my kitchen. Margaret pulled it out yesterday when she heard I was making this video. She set it on the counter next to my coffee with a little smile. That card outlived 2 generations. It's gonna outlive me. And when the day comes that Becca, my granddaughter, buys her own place with a septic tank, I'm gonna hand her that yellow card. 3 tomatoes, a packet of yeast, $2 a year, 51 years without a repair. That's not magic. That's just listening to the people who came before you. That's all it ever was. Your grandparents knew this. The industry just hoped you'd forget. If this old trick helped you today, do me a favor. Hit subscribe. Share this video with somebody who's got a septic tank, especially if they're a young couple just moving to the country. Save them the $3,000 I had to pay to learn. Every share brings back what the industry buried. And the full bundle, 10 ebooks, over 100 tricks like this one, is right there in the description below. Get it before they make it harder to find this kind of content. Algorithm change is coming, folks. Get it now while you can. The next video opens another family secret. A $2 weed that grows in every fence line in Iowa, that my granddaddy used to keep his well water clean and his pipes from scaling for 50 years. The chemical companies sell you a softener for $2,000. Cal had it growing free. Tell me in the comments, what's the most expensive home repair you ever paid for that you later found out you could have prevented? Mine was that septic bill. What's yours? I'm reading every single comment tonight and replying to all of y'all.